Houston is set up very nicely right now. So no question that the Astros are, in my opinion, the team that won the deadline here. I also do like a little bit, I know you guys were talking about it off the air, but talking about the Cubs a little bit. I thought they added a few nice pieces. They were active enough in the deadline. You guys were talking about Castellanos. Didn't make a whole lot of sense there. He's not a very good defensive outfielder, so it's kind of like, where are we going to put him? How are we going to get him? And that's number one, if we're keeping track of the headsets falling off my head this week. Last week it was 2 times. This week
2 times, yeah.
We're up to 1. 40 minutes into the show, not too bad.
Not too bad.
But, yeah, we decided that we were going to have a tracker on the headphones falling off, kind of like Spurrier throwing his visor or whatever.
Right.
That's going to be our thing, is we're going to keep track of this sliding off my head. But Castellanos, the guy that can hit. You don't mind his bat in the lineup, that's for sure. But yeah, he's a pretty bad defensive outfielder.
Yeah, we talked about it, during the break. Him and Schwarber both in left field. That's a disaster.
Yeah.
Schwarber is a terrible outfielder, and then Castellanos, whatever his name is, he's terrible too. I looked up some of his numbers. I think he had 18 errors in the outfield.
That's hard to do. That's
in
hard
1 year.
to do.
And then the following year had
in
15.
In the outfield. To have that many errors, that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, you understand why you bring his bat in.
Mm-hmm.
It adds some depth right there. It's another name you can plug in the lineup. And again, I think with a team that's in contention, I think his production at the plate is going to pick up. He has been a little down this year. Last year he was well above 300. This year south of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like that they stayed active in some of the deals here.
What do you guys think about the Indians?
The Indians, I thought, was the Trevor Bauer thing. I think they kind of just got tired of him. He's a weird guy. You know what I mean? He players in the locker room haven't. It's been pretty obvious that they don't like him. He's even came out and has said to the media that he's talked to the guys on the team and asked why they don't like him. And I think the final, we were talking last week, Caleb, we're like, they're not going to trade him. They're right there. They're surging. And then he had this blow up where he takes the ball and throws it across center field.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like, okay, they might trade him, because Terry Francona was livid with him.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot. That's a player manager type, that's his personality. And he was like, what is wrong with you? Again, we clean it up because this is a family friendly show here.
Right.
But you could kind of start to sense like maybe they're just going to move on. As talented as he is, they could get some prospects. They still have good pitching. And that was the good thing about the Indians, is they have about 3 or 4 arms. So you can afford probably to let him go, build your minor league system in a way. So I thought that was a smart move.
Right.
I think, Yasiel Puig, I think it's a guy that's very overrated, in my opinion. And he's going to come and play an important baseball, for them down the stretch. I think you're not going to get too much from him.
Right. But it's what they needed. And you look at Bauer, his ERA this year is a 3.79. His career ERA is a 3.92. I mean, it's solid, but it's not great. But in addition to getting Puig, they got some prospects too. So I think the haul that the Indians got was actually pretty good, and they are desperate for offense. So
yeah, they do need to add some bats.
I think it's kind of a win-win because they really didn't. They got
rid of a guy that they probably wanted.
They got rid of They got rid of one head case for another head case, so to speak. But one's in a more of a position of need.
Right.
He showed up to the stadium with red hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's already been suspended.
Oh yeah, because of that.
By
the way, like 10 minutes into his Cleveland career, he gets suspended.
By the way, and obviously that's that fight that broke out between the Reds and the Pirates. Whoever created the video, putting the Leroy Jenkins things behind it, you sir have won Twitter. That was the greatest thing in the world. All of a sudden, it just has him looking over there and takes off, and then all you hear in the video, Leroy Jenkins, and it's just playing the clip of that audio thing. I said, "You, sir, are the winner of Twitter. That is well done." But yeah, I think really quick, we have a caller as well. We'll get to here in just a second. Just hang on, just 1 second, as we're looking at the winners here of the trade deadline. I thought. Another team that, we have touched on, obviously, are the Braves. I think they're certainly in the winners discussion as well. Again, I thought it was just their smart moves to add depth to their bullpen. They had 3 arms in there. They had some pieces already there. Now they got guys that have been in Luke Jackson's role because he's not a closer. Not everybody's built of that. Mm-hmm. It's enough's enough already coming in the ninth inning. You should not have gut and chest pains when you see Jackson out there in the ninth inning no more. You got guys that have done it. Shane Green's been a closer. Marky Mark has been a closer. Yeah, I don't know how to say his last name. I've never had it, so I will call him Marky Mark because his name's Mark. And then you got Chris Martin, who not a closer, but somebody that you can add for some middle relief depth. Pitched last night, was efficient, 11 pitches, 1 strikeout. The lineup is the lineup. It's solid. The Braves are going to score runs. It's all about pitching. Can you get enough arms there to put you ahead? And I think they certainly took a step up from the deadline. And this is what I was talking about weeks ago, being excited to see some of the moves that the Braves make here to right from being a playoff team to actually be going from now I don't want to have to face the Braves in a divisional series. Mm-hmm. I don't want to. And I think that's what the Braves have done. They're not. The Dodgers are loaded. They got so much talent. I mean, they're 16 games up right now in the West out there.
And they just debuted a guy last night.
Just they debuted just because why not? It's a different league that the Dodgers are in by themselves.
Right.
But the rest of the teams, if you don't think the Braves can match up with like the Cubs or the Cardinals or the Phillies or anybody else besides the Dodgers, I don't think they're there.
If you get to the Dodgers bullpen, you got a shot.
Yeah,
I think they can put up a fight and make it interesting, but I still think the Dodgers are just ahead. But I think the Braves are moving up into that discussion where they can knock off somebody in the Central.
Yeah, I'm still a little shaky on the Dodgers bullpen though.
Yeah,
because I don't think it's very solid. I mean, Kenley Jansen's not the pitcher he was several years ago. We talked about this last week. He goes out there, he can still close out games, but he's not the guy where he gets on the mound and you think to yourself,
it's over.
My team has no chance.
The
Phillies showed that you can come back easily when Kenley Jansen's on the mound.
Red Sox did it too.
The Red Sox did it too, yeah. So, I mean, he's not the guy that comes out there and as a fan you watch and you're like, okay, we're done. You get to that Dodgers bullpen, as Josh said, with as talented hitters as they have, you can definitely challenge the Dodgers because Kershaw's not going to go 9 anymore. The U guy might. Sean Hill's still in there. Burley can definitely go. He's a young guy.
But what's Rue going to be in the playoffs?
True.
I'm not sure.
True.
He's been a great regular season guy, but what's he going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah. So I like what the Braves did. I think they have a much better chance now.
Right. Yeah.
I would say I would give them a much higher percentage to win that series.
Possibility, that they can get out of the first round of the playoffs. I honestly, like last year, you knew they were going to get in and lose.
Yeah.
This year, I think they can take the divisional series.
They're kind of like the Cubs were a few years ago. The Cubs got ahead of schedule, made the playoffs a year, and the next year, I think it was the next year they won it all.
The World Series, yeah.
So
and they added like a guy like Zobrist, and then you added Chapman that year as well, so that helped. Obviously.
Right.
So when you look at the Braves, they added Donaldson.
Yeah.
And they added a closer
got some young guys that are already doing it.
It's very similar to what the Cubs did.
And Donaldson's hitting bombs.
Yeah, he's doing crazy.
Not the average is not the 300, but you'll take the production that he'll give. No doubt.